We have some pretty significant news from the NHL. The David Jiricek trade has finally been completed. He is on his way to Minnesota. We'll discuss what the Wild gave up and how it affects both teams coming up next. Welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we have another NHL trade. This one we've been expecting for probably about the last week or so, but we didn't know exactly where Jiricek was going to be heading. The Columbus Blue Jackets have finally settled on one of the offers and have made a deal here with the Minnesota Wild. So the trade involves David Jiricek and a 2025 fifth-round pick going from Columbus to the Minnesota Wild. In exchange, they get Damon Hunt. Of course, Hunt is a player looking for more opportunity. A prospect in Minnesota that wasn't getting the playing time that he was hoping for. I know it was highly reported that he, like Jiricek, wanted more chance to play and whatnot, and this will hopefully give that to him. They also get a 2025 first-round pick. Now, that is top 5 protected, so on the odd chance Minnesota's season goes off the rails here and they tank and end up with a top 5 pick, then they can be defaulted to 2026. Now, that's probably not going to happen. Minnesota's had a good start to the year. Even if they do fall back and somehow get out of the playoff spot, it's still unlikely they're going to end up top 5. So most likely that 2025 pick will go to the Blue Jackets. I mean, ultimately, we'll get into that here in just a second. But the 2025 first rounder is almost a guarantee. They also get a 2027 second round pick, a 2026 third round pick, and a 2026 fourth round pick. So you get a first, a second, a third, and a fourth, and a player. I mean, that's pretty significant. Now, I know the Puckpedia website is got a great tool that puts a value on each draft pick. And basically the draft capital that the Wild gave up to Minnesota would be equivalent to around an 8th overall first-round pick. Because this first-rounder in 2025 is most likely going to be somewhere, we'll say, 2025 range. The way the Wild are going, that's probably where you'd expect it. So even if it's 20th, that's a lot lower than, what the 8th rounder would be, or 8th overall would be. So you get a 20th overall pick, then a second, third, fourth. Like, it would be equivalent to getting an 8th overall first rounder. So, compared to where Jiricek was actually drafted, that's pretty close to being able to get, a similar type of pick in a more current draft. Jiricek's been drafted for 2 years, right shot defenseman, 6'3", 6'4", he's got all the tools to look like he could be a top 4 right shot defenseman. You throw in the fact that they got Brock Faber, one of the best young right shot Ds in the league. They got Zeev Buium on the way as well. Maybe Buium and Jiricek make a great pair down the road. Hard to say. You still got guys like Brodin and Spurgeon in the mix there. The Minnesota Wild have the potential to have a terrific, one of the top blue lines now in the NHL. And they've got potential here in the next year or two that they could have guys like Faber, Jiricek, and Buium if they all work out. We know Faber's working out, but the other two are still a little bit unknown. If they work out to be what we think they're going to be in excellent shape for a long time. So to me, this was a draft capital worth giving out for a player that they clearly believed in. And reports indicate that the Wild were interested in Jiricek since going back to the draft where he was picked. And more recently, they've been involved with this trade process since it began. Once it's kind of known in the last couple of days how many other teams were in the mix, it sounds like they upped their offer. We know for sure that other teams were involved. Philly was involved. Nashville was involved, and there were others. We've seen reports about, and it's hard to confirm, but we've heard about Buffalo, we've heard Montreal, we've heard, I think even Vancouver was rumored to be in there. Hard to say what level of seriousness and they all were. Some of them could have made just one phone call and did a check-in and never went further. You don't know, right? But it was believed to have 8 to 10, pretty reliable, legit offers. So either way, this was a great pickup by Minnesota. Pretty good haul in return for Columbus for a player who didn't really want to be there anymore. And both sides can kind of start fresh. So let me know what your thoughts are, but I love this trade for Minnesota. I think that as long as he works out to be what we think he's going to be, it should be a great trade overall. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll discuss further. If you're new to the channel, of course, make sure you subscribe and stick around. We'll keep you up to date with all the news, rumors, and analysis of all 32 NHL teams. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. Bye.